So one of the things you have to consider when you're looking at repairing or replacing sewer line is the distance of the house from the street.
The proximity of the house to the street. If you're, say in St. Paul, Minneapolis, and you look out your front window and you've got a sidewalk out in your front, and you're about 30 feet off of the curb line, that's a pretty short sewer line run, and that's a pretty quick and easy repair for us to put a new sewer line in. But if you're in maybe an older neighborhood, let's just say Maplewood or something like that, and they've got some houses that are set back from the curb line 100 or 200 feet, that's a much longer run of sewer line that could be repaired.
Now you guys specialize in doing St. Paul, Minneapolis, anywhere
surrounding area,
in the whole surrounding area,
metro.
Too. What are some of the things that go into when you're working in actual downtown St. Paul? You got limestone, some different things. What should homeowners know when they're starting to have the conversation about possible either utility line repair, water line repair, sewer line repair? Like, what are some things that they should consider that just make things more difficult, or, what should they know?
The age of their home, age of the pipe, how long it's been there, what type it is. Is it cast iron, clay, paper?
So so there's a couple different kinds of paper?
Yep.
What the heck is that?
Old.
Just old?
That's old.
And what happens with paper now? I'm assuming it would just break and shift.
Well, just what you think happens,
yeah.
Rob.
Okay.
Over time, it loses its permeability, or I should say not permeability, but it loses its water repellence.
Okay.
And it tends to soak up, and next thing you know, we have a wet paper on our hands.
And then you have metal pipes, right? Or
cast iron,
cast iron. What era were those installed? What age of houses?
They're still installed today.
Oh,
sometimes,
really?
yes.
Okay.
Yep. But it's not an economical fix anymore.
Okay.
Cast iron's fairly expensive to produce. It's heavy. It's not easy to work with. We have a much better product. It's called PVC. Mm-hmm. And when you're using PVC, it's smooth. It flows better. It's easier to work with. It's lighter, and it's a lot more reasonable.
What era of home would you expect to start finding cast iron typically versus PVC? Like, when did that become?
Don't know.
Don't know?
70s and 80s,
70s and
60s.
Okay.
But I don't want to say that because...
That's all right. Yeah. So then when it comes to when you guys actually have to, how do you know when it's time to actually dig up and replace a line versus just, either... So there's no obstructions, it's not roots. What would you see where it's like, we're going to want to probably repair that?
We'd see dirt. We'd see a crack or a hole in the line.
Okay.
That's bleeding dirt into the pipe. Obviously, the liquids and stuff are not going to flow through the dirt. Mm-hmm. And what we have to be scared of is that hole's not going to get smaller. It'll always grow.
The water will go through and it'll start to carve everything out, and you're going to start kind of creating a sinkhole, right? I mean, or like
you could create a little minor sinkhole in your yard, nothing that you'd fall in, but something that you notice that's not right. Or you could see some water coming up to the top too.
Okay. Okay, so if you see water in your yard, perhaps that means there's a crack in your sewer.
Yes.
You're probably starting to smell it maybe at this point. Sometimes
you could.
Really?
Generally, the dirt will hold together where you won't smell it. You'll just see some water coming up to the top, and it'll always be sitting there. It could even be sitting out on the curb line of your street, too.
Okay.
Water takes the path of easiest resistance, so it's kind of tough to say without sending a camera down it what could be. So
you're always sending a camera down, and you do that shoulder to shoulder with people, helping guide them so that they see what's going on, so that they're, they have their eyes wide open. Whenever possible, you're trying to do the most economical solution. You guys are really dedicated to that when it comes to integrity.
We want an economical solution, but we also want a solution that's going to last. So I might be able to snake a drain and get the roots out of it that may last for a year or two. Eventually, them roots are going to get big, and they're going to overtake and crack and or break the pipe to where we need to do something. So I guess that all has to be kind of evaluated at the time of what severity we want to go and repair or replace your product in your yard.
Now, assuming that I need a replacement, I decide I'd like to make that investment to do the long-term fix rather than just a short-term thing. Talk to me about the process of what does that look like? When do I pay you? How does the process with city go, how long will I be without water? Like, what does that actually look like?
Depending on the city, certain cities are willing to finance repairs for the homeowners on their.
Explain that to me.
Yeah, well, let's just say you're in the city of Minneapolis and you come across a $10,000 repair and you can't afford it. They do provide facilities for you to finance that repair and get us
A
paid.
low interest loan of some sort that helps.
Yep, I think it's through the taxes. Yep, that they.
Oh, so your tax, you just pay it through your taxes.
Yep.
Like was a road.
They'll assess you a little more.
Assessment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that gets us paid in a timely manner for the work that we do, and then it allows the homeowner to take it out over a longer period and not necessarily take that whole chunk out of their pocket at once.
And you guys work with pretty much every city in the Twin, like not just the Twin Cities, but even the outer ring Twin Cities.
Suburbs,
as far
yep.
as the suburbs,
Absolutely.
Red Wing, up to Big Lake, out west. You'll go.
Yep,
Just about
Yep, Pine City to Montrose,
Stillwater.
all over the metro. It doesn't really matter. We're already operating all over the metro, and so it's easy to go there and do that.
Absolutely. Okay, so the city might finance it for me and allow through assessment perhaps to do that. How do you find out if that's an option or not?
Generally, what's going on is these people are calling the city to see what what's wrong with their pipe and how to get it fixed, and then the city is kind of giving them a list of preferred contractors and giving them some guidance as to what the city can do for them via assessment, or hey, you're on your own, call a contractor and fix it yourself.